time we got left?
Don't know. Sorry. Hey guys, Camper 15 back on Camper 15 Talk Sports, and we're here to discuss the Bears' second preseason game. I know it was late because they put it on a Thursday. Really weird that they do it on a Thursday instead of a Saturday or Sunday, but whatever. And I'll talk about the broadcast crew because that's not going to be the permanent broadcast crew. It's going to be Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, which is weird. But the Bears, they ended up pretty much beating the Seattle Seahawks 27-11. Again, another nice win, even though it's preseason. But my takeaways, I liked what I saw from the Bears. Again, the defense was swarming. The offense starting, actually moved the ball. But before we talk about our evaluations and stuff like that, some groundbreaking news gets going in the background. Seemingly enough, it seems like the Bears have figured out their offensive line, with the exception of their center, because Lucas Patrick is out because God help me if Sam Mustipher starts again. But it looks like it's going to be Braxton Jones at the left tackle, Cody White here at the left guard. More than likely, not more than likely. Definitely it's going to be Lucas Patrick when he comes back from injury, so he can put Sam Mustipher on the bench, and hopefully they cut him away because he sucks. Surprisingly, Tevin Jenkins at the right guard position. And then it looks like from the way they were talking about him yesterday, Larry Bourne's going to be the right tackle of the team, which I'm fine. They're putting two young guys, which, hey, the draft picks last year, you might as well just give them reps instead of signing guys like a Riley Reeve who can just be a backup. And if somebody goes down, he can play anywhere on the line. And I guess it's up the center position. But I watched that first game and Michael Schofield absolutely got blown up.
First play of the game too.
Yeah. They were like, "Yep, nope, you're done." Tevin Jenkins,
get him off.
Pretty much took the reins, and I guess the Adam Schefter said, "Oh, Tevin Jenkins still on the trade block." No, he's not. He's with the starters. He practiced again with the starters today. He's not going anywhere. I think it's just to see, what was the offers, what people would get. I think he's locked up that right guard position. He looked really good in the game at right guard anyways. So you might as well just keep him there. Next thing. Jaquan Brisker, I guess he had thumb surgery because he injured his thumb in the Chiefs game, but they're saying that he should be good to go for week 1. If not, I guess game time decision. I don't know. They could just wrap his thumb up like very tight and then he'll be good unless they want to put a club on him. Either or, I think they need him because he was really good in that first game. So that's definitely going to help out. And then obviously the biggest thing was the Roquan Smith situation. That finally got taken care of. Roquan did not get a new deal, but he's back practicing again. And I think that's
he agreed to play under the current contract.
Yeah.
He put himself behind the 8 ball without having any type of representation. And then going up against an organization who historically has been really thrifty when it comes to signing their own players. So
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So it's a difficult situation, but I think he's just gonna wind up playing the year out. And if he gets signed, he gets signed. But if he doesn't, then my bet is he just go ahead and test the free agent market.
Yeah, but I think the Bears won't let that happen because they can legitimately.
I don't think so either. Don't get me wrong. I don't think so either. But Roquan kind of put himself in this position by not getting good representation.
Yeah.
And then the league had to put out a memo to the other teams in the league that if anyone approaches you who is not a certified agent with the NFL, that transaction will be considered tampering.
Okay.
And at that particular point, it put Roquan behind the 8 ball.
It pretty much put him stuck.
It put him stuck. Because now there's no time for you to get representation. So just go ahead and play out the current contract, work with the Bears, get signed during the season, and then we can move on from this nonsense.
Yeah. I already made a video about the Roquan Smith thoughts, but I think it was a bad decision of his part just to send out his note to Ian Rappaport. Now, I knew what he was doing in that. And I said in that video, he knows that the Bears fans have been very critical of the front office, the management of the McCaskies and how they handle business. And they wanted to turn the fans. But shockingly, some fans were actually like, nah, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
And I always found it fishy. Like, hold on, we got a new regime in. The new regime looks like they want to cater to the offense. It's funny how now you want to get paid after the new regime comes, and we try to focus more on the offense when the whole thing happens. And Ryan Poles did come out in a press conference even before, like when he got hired, like he's gonna be very protective of the money. And I'm like, and I was always thought, I'm like, he probably doesn't want to pay Roquan the money he wants, one, because maybe he doesn't feel like Roquan deserves that money at this time because you look at the stats compared to him, Fred Warner, and Shaquille Leonard. Yeah, he's up there with the tackles that they have, but you go like turnovers and stuff like that. He's nowhere
correct.
close to them. Like
Nowhere near.
Leonard has like I
Interception,
think
sacks. Yeah, I mean, nowhere
17,
near.
17 forced fumbles, and Roquan only got
Yeah,
like I think one or two forced fumbles and then one interception.
I
Um,
think right now his only leverage to get a really good contract is the NFL put him in the top 100.
yeah, but
That's
he wasn't even
for
top
me.
50. He wasn't even top
No,
50.
no, he was number one. He was what 84, I believe it was. But
No, I
again,
think it
he's in
was
the
he was
top.
65, 65 or 60. He was in the 60s.
Roquan was 65 this year. I thought he was 84.
He was in no, that was David Montgomery.
No, Montgomery was 100.
No,
Was
Montgomery
you got to?
was in the 80s.
I thought Montgomery was 100, the very first one.
Mm-mm,
No,
no.
okay, all right. Because I thought Montgomery was a 100 and Roquan was 84.
No, Roquan, I know he was in the somewhere in the 60s. David Montgomery
But
was
even
somewhere in the
still,
80s. Yeah.
neither one. You're right, not top 50. So it's like in that top 50, and I'm pretty sure we'll see who's gonna how many middle linebackers are they gonna be. And if I'm right, I don't even think in this defense he's slated to play middle linebacker, is he?
He's slated to play the will linebacker like Lance Briggs. So, yeah, and that's why Poles didn't want to give him the money. And honestly, I saw it as approach of this whole front office is in the is in the phase of evaluating players this year. They could care less how
Correct.
bad the team is. As long as they
Correct.
evaluate players, see like who's going to be here for the future, who's not going to be here for the future. Um, you know, I just took it as approach of Paul saying, well, you want this, you want a deal done? Here's the deal. You either take it or you leave it. Otherwise, go down there, go put
Yep.
your pads on and go
Go.
play. Prove it to us that you deserve the money you want, which is like I think over something
Correct.
over 20 million, which Brian Poles is not going to shell out. He wants to see how do you look in Eberflus's scheme? Do you actually get more turnovers? Do you actually look better than what you did look like in the 3-4 defense the last couple of
That's
years?
correct. And keep in mind now, the Bears still have the power to trade him during the season.
Yeah.
So they want to see how he adapts under Coach Eberflus's 3-4 system. I'm assuming if he does well, he might come close to the contract he wants. But if he has a hard time adapting because he's been a middle linebacker ever since he's been with the Bears, then hey, let's cut our losses and find a team that will be willing to give us maybe a third or fourth rounder for him.
Yeah.
I think at one point we were talking, you said he was worth a second. I was thinking he's worth the first. So we'll see. But if he does not look good, I'm pretty sure that, at best they could probably get as a third.
Yeah. I think he's like a low second round, third round pick if they trade him.
Yep.
Yeah, and then too, after the season's done, the Bears can just franchise it. I mean, he's gonna get paid like 19 million for a franchise tag. And in his press conference, he said, you know what, that's actually kind of nice. I'm like, dude, just get yourself an agent, man.
Yeah, get yourself an agent. It would be all said and done if you would just go ahead and get someone that's used to the NFL practices as it relates to contracts.
Yeah.
And this person can also tell you what to say when you're in front of the media. So then that way you just don't look utterly stupid to the fans, the media, and most importantly, the Chicago Bears organization. So he's not doing himself any favors.
Yeah. And he said in his press conference, last thing I'm gonna say, he said he trusts Saint Omni, which when I heard the name, I was like, dude, what the hell? Funny enough, there's actually a Bears Twitter account named Saint Omni, and I'm like, just get yourself some representation, dude.
Just get some representation.
Yeah,
I mean, I personally don't know how much it costs or what the percentage is or how an agent is actually paid. Is he like on a set or is he on a particular payroll or does he get a percentage of your contract once it's signed? I don't know any of that. All I do know is you need someone that can be able to maneuver and speak with the Bears and understand what the Bears are doing so you can count them.
Yeah.
Obviously, Roquan doesn't know that.
Yeah. And then you don't have to be in the discussions. They're not saying things that, hey, we
Nope.
think of you this. But
Nope.
hey, that's
I will
Roquan's.
talk to my agent, and my agent will relay everything I say that I said to him.
Yep. So
That's
whatever.
it.
The Roquan Smith drama is over for the time being. I think
For the
he's more than
time being,
likely, if he plays good, he's definitely going to get his contract. But
we'll revisit this around week 6
yeah,
because I think where the trade deadline is, what is it? Just first week in December?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, and if that's the case, we're probably talking somewhere around week 8,
Yeah.
maybe 9 or 10. But
Yeah.
he's gonna have to ball out in a position he's never played while being in the NFL.
Yeah. And like I said, even if the Bears don't give him a contract, they could just put that franchise tag on him and then
They
he's there
could.
again for next year. So there's nothing he can
They
do.
could. They
Um,
could.
I think that's what they're
I
going to
mean,
actually do. It would be a better way to save money so then they can cater most of their funds to the offense.
correct. And then on top of that, I mean, man, you can't let this, honestly, you can't let this guy get away because you really don't know what kind of return you're getting.
Yep.
Even if you do get draft picks, which is the inexact science, you have to hit on that draft pick and then wait for that particular draft pick to evolve. So, I mean, I would much rather go with the proven player who's been in our franchise ever since he came into the NFL. He's done fantastic for us. And now they got him in a position where he'll probably wind up rushing the quarterback more so than what he's done in the past. So
Yep.
maybe he might be able to, build some of them interception and sack stats up.
Yeah. But going on to the Bears versus Seattle Seahawks game, I was fine with the performance that they had with the Chiefs. My thing was I wish the offense kind of moved the ball the starting offense moved the ball a little bit more, but I was like, okay, there's just some small progress points. The defense looks fairly really good. And the offense still
I like the defense.
Yeah,
I gotta admit, I like the defense. The defense looks damn good.
yeah.
I really do. Now, granted, I would probably say that first game, that first drive, I
It's
mean,
Patrick Mahomes.
it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it's you pretty much brought all these guys together, new defense, new coaches, and you put them out first game against Patrick Mahomes. And yeah,
And then
what Patrick Mahomes did, it didn't shock me at all.
Yeah.
It
And
really
then when you
didn't
play,
shock me at all.
then when you play vanilla defense, of course he's gonna pick that apart like ease.
Correct.
So
Correct. And that first drive, man, Patrick was what was it, 6 for 7, and all 6 of his passes went to 6 different receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, just you can't just simply say that, oh, the defense didn't do this, and the defense didn't do that. Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That outside of that, defense has played damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, damn good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Which makes me which I'll talk about the way the commentators in the Thursday night football game we're talking on Monday night football, whatever. But as for the offense, I know it's a work in progress. There are some slight things I like about the offense, some things that I somewhat don't, but that's mostly the things that I don't. What I saw in the second game, I felt like the offensive line got a little bit too much pressure. They let too much guys get in. So hopefully
Seattle blitzed more.
Yeah.
Seattle they blitzed a lot. Whether it would have been, from the linebackers or the safeties, they really blitz an awful lot. The offensive line for me was still horrid.
I thought they play. I wouldn't say they didn't play like absolutely god awful.
No. You can tell there was a progression between games 1 and games 2. I get that. You can definitely tell there was progression. The only difference is that Kansas City, they pretty much rushed with their front 4, whereas Seattle, I mean, I'd probably say the first 5 times that Justin Fields passed, I'd probably say 4 of them they blitzed.
Yeah.
So the offensive line has got to pick up they got to pick those up, and give this young man time to throw. But we've been saying that for the last, we said it all through the last year as well too.
Yeah. I think the offensive line will be better, especially with Lucas Patrick coming back at the center, because I think most of those whiffs can be attributed to Sam Mustipher, because I think he made a whiff.
Yeah.
He made a whiff in the Chiefs game,
Yeah.
which ended up getting Justin Fields almost. I think
Yeah.
it was on that Tajay Sharp pass or something.
Let me ask you this: Why are they not contemplating Whitehair at center?
I don't think they want to move him again. I think they want to keep him at the guard.
I mean, I get it. I mean, he's really good. It seems like he's good no matter what he put him, left, right guard. But in this particular case, since Patrick is out, why not even attempt to use Whitehair at center? But I mean, you can't put Schofield out there. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing.
I mean, now in Schofield's defense, that first play, I mean, look who he was trying to block.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, that was barbecue chicken right there,
Yeah.
So
that sucks with the rookie center we drafted, Doug Kramer, going out this year for injury because of his, I think, a list fracture in his foot or something like that. So we didn't get a rep. We didn't get to see how he would have looked. But I think he would have probably been starting that game. But
in some cases, a list frank, man, he's I mean, it's just below a Jones fracture in the foot. He might be done for the year.
Yeah, he is done. He is done for the year. He's already on the.
He is done for a year.
He's already on injured reserve.
Okay.
So, yeah. Cole Kmet, he looked really good. I like the plays they had designed for him. I like that one screen play. Then he broke some tackles, got the first down. I liked that one rollout.
I did like that screen play.
Yeah.
Now the rollout, please just, I know I'm trying to be positive here, but the rollout could have gotten more yards with a better throw. More yards, better throw.
You'll still take the
catch. If he had led Kyle Kmet maybe just a little bit more to his right, that play could have probably went another 15, 20 yards. But he threw it behind Cole Kmet. Kmet had to come back and catch the football. And yeah, he ran a little bit, which leads me to believe that if he had made a better throw, he could have gone 20 yards down the field.
I'll just take the reception. I'll take the gain. Whatever. I don't care.
I'll take it too. And again, this is just a learning process for Justin Fields. I get it. There are times in which dude has got to be like, he's got to really think quick on his feet, because that offensive line is just doing him a disservice. But when the offensive line blocks very well, granted, he's not used to that. So he's still in the mindset, I got to get rid of this ball quick because ain't no telling who coming. I get it. So when the Bears work out their offensive line woes, I am sure Justin Fields will be able to do what we think he can do. Unfortunately, due to the offensive line, he hasn't. Now that's not anything to do with him, in my opinion, because I think he can do the job. I just think that, just like with anything else, others need to do theirs. And so far, nobody is really.
Well, with the exception of Tevin Jenkins actually did pretty good on his own.
Yeah. I mean, I like Tevin. I used to like Braxton Jones, too. I mean, I think Braxton, for a rookie at left tackle, I think he's doing really well. It's just that when they have to, because they have to move so many pieces around, Jenkins has been a right tackle. Now he's a right guard. Now you're going to put Borum at right tackle. And now Patrick is hurt from center. You really don't know who you're going to put at center, but we all know we don't want to put Mustipher there. So it's just, they're going to work out these offensive line issues eventually.
Yeah.
My thing is, again, when the offensive line does not break down, I would like to see Justin make the kind of throws that he should have made, in my opinion, going to Komet in the first game. Same thing with Mooney. If he read one deep safety, which was great, so he knew Mooney was going to be in man coverage, and Mooney ran a wheel route, came up the side, but my opinion is, and I know because we talked about it, he made a bad throw.
I say he put it there because the safety over top was coming the way, and if he threw it in
because he
farther,
eyeballed Mooney the entire time. That one deep safety saw where he was going with it, and he immediately ran to that way. If you'd have kept that safety in the middle of the field, then that would have been a touchdown.
things that he has to work on. So
yeah, I get it. It was first preseason game. Get it. And he's gotten he looked good. He only ran a series this time as opposed to the
only series because it was a short week. It was a short week. They don't want to get him hurt.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
Right. I was fine with it too. And then on top of that first drive, they did get points out of it. They only got 3. But at the same time, Justin made a nice throw into the end zone that I think Mooney couldn't get to. I want to say it was Mooney.
Yeah, no, that was one play I didn't like. He did have Equinemius St. Brown right there at the first down. I'm like, just throw it to him. But he took the deep. I'm fine with it. If you want to go shoot for the touchdown.
He went for the touchdown. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I would just like, and again, those are the kind of things that I would like to see. Yeah, let's go for that touchdown, and he trusted Mooney, but he just made, again, it was just it wasn't a great throw. But, again, it's second preseason game. The second preseason game was a short week game. So we'll see what happens when they do the third preseason game. We'll see.
Yeah. But other than that, I was glad the starting offense moved the ball. So I think we can pause this whole concern that the offense can't move the ball. It's just things are working. It's a whole different, offense for them to run. They're learning on the fly. And I did like I said, I like the screen. It was different than the typical Matt Nagy crappy screen he would run.
Yes. Although I will say I would like to see them run the ball maybe a little more, but I honestly feel the reason why they're not doing is because I think Montgomery's down.
Yeah. No, he's just sitting out. I think
he's just sitting out. Well, I gotta admit, I love Travis Ebner.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, 2 weeks in a row. Yeah. I think we got a nice little 3-headed monster, and if I'm correct, he's doing kickoffs. So we got a nice little 3-headed monster with Montgomery, Hebert, and Ebner that, I would like to see them run the ball a little bit more, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just not doing it just to keep the running backs fresh to come into the season. Because, if there's any position in the NFL that takes a pounding, it's the running backs. Mm-hmm. So I get why they probably aren't doing that much running.
Yeah, and I also think they want to give Fields some throwing opportunities and stuff.
Correct.
Like that. So
correct. In different situations as well too.
Yeah. I also did like the rollouts, which Matt Nagy, you would have thought, hey, put him on the rollout, and he actually looks fine. The one play, it was that 1 3rd down when he stepped up a bit, but then tried to escape, but he ended up getting sacked. I wish he kind of stepped up, but was going through his progressions before he then ran. But
correct.
The one thing I did like is They went to go for it on 4th down. I was like, yeah, I'm fine with it. It's preseason, doesn't hurt. Exactly. And they managed to get somebody to jump off sides, that will lead me into my next thing. The first 2 games, I'm just gonna say honest, this team is so much more disciplined than what it was last year. Last year's team had penalty after penalty after penalty. This year's team, and I hope this stays the same in the regular season, they barely draw any penalties. I don't see a false start. I don't see unnecessary stupid defensive penalties or offensive penalties. They're very disciplined. And that's one of the things Eberflus had when he was a defensive coordinator in Indianapolis.
Correct.
His defense rarely committed penalties. Seemingly, it's coming across.
He preached it a lot. I think that's the thing is with Eberflus. He preaches it a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got to admit, I do like that. Yet, all the while, they're not creating penalties, but they're attacking the ball.
Yeah.
They're attacking the ball. And I got to admit, moving forward, that's why I think this defense is going to be absolutely fantastic. I don't really see a lot of penalties on the offense.
Yeah, the
either.
offense hasn't. I'm shocked I've yet to see a false
Yeah,
start penalty.
I got to admit, you would think with, as bad as the offense is getting beat, you would see some type of false start or holding or something, but no, they pretty much are digging their heels in the ground. They're standing firm with their um with their coverage. So
Yeah,
yeah,
good
I
on.
mean, all these things are positives, you know. And it's going to be a gradual process. Granted, I don't like what I see right now out of the offense, but I honestly think I do see progression.
Yeah,
And in preseason, that's what you want, progression.
yeah. Defense, they played another solid game where they just locked. And mind you, this is with apparently Seattle's starting quarterback in Geno Smith. He gonna do nothing against number twos and threes. So now listen, I'm not saying that this defense can be world beaters. They're still gonna get they're still gonna get toasted every now and then, but this defense can be significant. This defense gonna be at least slightly better. Now with Roquan Smith coming, they're gonna be a very solid defense.
I think that once everybody is back healthy, Brisker, and I think Gordon was hurt the first. Gordon was not 100% the first game, so he didn't play.
Yeah, but he played in the second game.
Right. And when Smith comes back, I honestly see the potential for this being a really good defense. I don't know if they're top 15, but they're definitely better than what they were last year. I think they can get to the quarterback if we can put teams in passing situations, stop the run. And I think we can be, we can probably creep into that top 15 area, which is, I'm pretty sure that's what they're shooting for with this, with this new coaching staff. Alan Williams seems to be really specific about attacking the football. And you can tell the players are listening. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, this defense definitely can grow and get better. They did blitz a little bit more this Seattle game, than they did the Chiefs game. But mostly, we know Eberflus's scheme. It's like staying back in zone, just flush with your four guys.
Correct.
It's a defense the Bears have played in the past before. But I think when they want to blitz, they'll blitz when they need to. But other than that, my only other takeaway from this game was how bad the commentators were. If you watch now, I ended up going to the movies, but even before, I watched like a good first chunk of the first quarter and then a little bit of the second quarter. These commentators, it was Steve Levy, Dan Orlovsky, and Louis Riddick. Oh my God, who I already made a video about how Louis Riddick.
Yeah, I got to admit, Louis. Yeah, he should never do a Bears game again. He should never do a Bears game again. It comes out in his commentary.
Yeah, because he clearly hates the Bears because one, he's mad the Bears didn't hire him as the GM, and two, they fired his best friend Matt Nagy, who he never talked very bad about. He never criticized Matt Nagy's tenure of the Bears. He was just like, well, it's got to work things out. Nagy's a good play call. I'm like, dude, whatever.
Yeah, stop it, man.
Yeah, these guys were talking about the Seattle Seahawks as if they were going to be something in their division. They're the fourth team in their division. They're the worst team in the division.
With Geno Smith as their quarterback,
and Drew Lock. Drew Lock would have played if he didn't get COVID.
And Drew Lock is how much better than Geno?
Yeah.
And on top of that, there was a sideline interview with DJ Metcalf. He could have been joking, but he actually said he wasn't happy with Carroll because he thought he was going to play a certain amount of plays, and he basically put Carroll on blast. And I was like, oh man, yeah. No, man, Seattle ain't doing nothing this year.
Yeah.
Seattle ain't doing a doggone thing this year. So please don't. When you got your best player sitting over there calling your coach out, whether he's joking or whether he's not, that's still a bad look.
And this just goes to the whole of the national media. Like the national media thinks the Bears are going to be, from what I've seen from two, and I know it's only 2 preseason games, but the Bears haven't looked as bad as people making it out to be. Like this same Bears team, if not, you could say a worse Bears team, beat the same Seattle Seahawks team in Seattle they still have Russell Wilson, DJ Metcalf, Tyler Lockett on the team, and they beat him with like Nick Foles.
Yeah.
So the fact that these commentators are like, well, Seattle actually could be good, and then being like, oh, how about the Bears? They're not really in there. I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah. Get it.
Yeah, it goes to show you that these.
And Seattle may wind up being what, 2-15?
Yeah, they absolutely got
Now, granted, I mean, the Bears. Do we honestly, realistically believe that they can win 8-9 games this year?
I got them. The way I see them playing right now, they can win 6.
Yeah, could win 6.
Yeah,
I agree.
So
I agree.
and go ahead.
No, I was about to say, and I looked at their schedule, and potentially they can win 8-9 games, potentially, with the teams that are on their schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minnesota is going to be a different team. Detroit is still Detroit. We got the Giants. We got the Falcons.
Texans.
So I mean, yeah, we got teams on the schedule we can beat. I mean, honestly, do I honestly think the 49ers?
Depends.
I mean, we can get the 49ers.
They can. It just I feel like the Cards have to play right. They gotta really make Trey Lance work to beat them on defense.
Correct. And for me, he ain't no different than Fields. I mean, if we cover Samuel and cover Kittle, get a really good outside rush with Gibson and Quinn, and contain the middle. Yeah, man. Defensively, we can get to Lance.
Yeah.
And we can beat Lance.
Yeah.
But you got guys like, Riddick on the announced team. They're going to think the Bears are shooting for 0-17.
Yeah.
Oh, they were like that.
Yeah.
We get the number 1 pick.
Hey, it's fine by me.
Fine with me. Number 1 pick going into the next year with over 120 million on the cap.
Yep.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. It goes to show the national media, they don't really do their homework in terms of looking at legit situations. Because I think Colin Cowherd, he came on air yesterday saying, oh, the Bear, he compared the Monte Ellis situation with the Golden State Warriors to Roquan Smith situation. That has nothing to oh my, these national medias actually need to go to these training camps in their cities and actually see, okay, how'd the team look? They actually don't look bad. But that's national media. They just say things.
Shock jocks, man. That's all it is. Stephen A., Colin Cowherd, shock jocks.
Yeah.
As long as they're loud and boisterous, they think they're being heard and they're saying something absolutely stupid. Believe it or not, you like wrestling, you'll appreciate this. It was John Cena. John Cena was asked about being booed. John Cena said, I don't have once Ric Flair told me, it does not matter if you're being booed or you're being cheered, as long as the fans are being loud. That's all you need. And I liken that to Stephen A., Colin Cowherd. As long as the fans are being loud, whether they're booing you, whether they don't like you, they're being loud. So that means you can continue doing it. People are listening, So, but when they're quiet, oh yeah, ESPN will be like, I'm sorry, Stephen, no one's listening to you anymore. Exit.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the Bears Week 2 stuff and things like that. Again, we'll continue with more Bears content. As we'll probably talk about the preseason 3 game against the Browns and then give our season preview on the Bears this upcoming season. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Camp for 15 Talk Sports content. So hit that subscribe button. Until then, guys, bye.
Cheap.